G'day, welcome to the MacPack.
We're back.
My name's Jamie Kenner, and to my left this week in Order the Man on the panel, who's the biggest Oasis fan, it's my little brother Joe. How are you, Joe boy?
What's the story? Morning Glory, am I right?
Morning glory.
That's the name of the album.
Kicking things off, and to my right, coming in at 6'1", as he does each and every week, it's the baby brother of the pack, who we call Junior Boy. Junior Boy, how are you, mate?
Boys, you're my wonder wall today. I'm keen for the boys to be back.
Yes, we're back. We're ready to fire up.
Let's go.
I think you're talking about Oasis. Yeah, God. As the words are coming out.
Liam and Noel, the boys are back.
Grabbed a sense of awareness. We are discussing the footy off the top, plus some Oasis stuff. Macca's got a little bit of news on them as well.
Let's go.
We're excited. We got Dad back on the podcast for what we think is the first time in about 3 years.
Yo.
So we've got some questions and answers with him. We've got a game to play with him, and we've got a very nice everyday hero. Massive out. Let's get into it. Boys.
Brother Mingo.
How are we all? Are we all well?
Fantastic. Fantastic, because we're talking about another famous group of brothers.
We are. We are indeed.
The Gallagher's.
The Glurgers. You mentioned before, we
Yes.
talked about Oasis last week.
Last week
I don't have any memory of that.
with Liam.
Yeah, I figured that.
He talked about he interviewed Liam.
Oh, yes. You asked the question.
And he signed his
He
vinyl
signed
for him.
his-
To Liam, from Liam.
Do your
Come
best.
on.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Come
ask.
on,
Do
yeah.
your
Come
best.
on.
Do your best impressions.
Come on. I'm not really sure what he sounds like.
Inciting news. And we obviously record these on a Monday night.
Yes.
And at this point in time, they haven't said anything. They've just sort of teased that they
They've
might be
teased.
coming
They've
back.
just tickled our testes.
Because they hate each other.
Yes, well, Oasis reunion is apparently on the cards as Noel and Liam Gallagher tease a Tuesday announcement. So apparently, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Wait, 8 a.m. Perth time?
Let's not get into the semantics.
Cool, yeah, it doesn't matter, yeah.
yeah. They're going to be
I was just
releasing
interested.
news around a potential reform
wow.
of the band. Basically, they just shared it to, I think, their Oasis page. I don't know if they did it on their independent pages.
Do you reckon they both have a login to that? I would be an intern.
Well, you don't even
Probably.
you have a login to our account, so I don't think they would.
I'm in there.
No, you're not.
That's just that one time you posted that photo.
What?
Remember? You thought it was your own. OnlyFans.
And then so we've seen that. Jesus Christ, where are we? We've seen the little teaser trailer go off on the
Yes.
Oasis page, and it's
Ooh.
basically the date, the time, and a little bit of Oasis graphics, teasing that I think
People-
there might be a little bit of a.
That's a pretty new thing, there's like a announcement for an announcement. It's a very like social media thing.
Yeah, that's
Even
true.
like there'll be a teaser for a trailer for a movie.
Yeah.
It's like,
We can't keep breaking it down, guys.
yeah.
Just do
This is
the-
a frame of the teaser for the trailer for the movie.
Yeah, it's probably because they know that the
speculation is
more
like
than
this.
the actual product.
You got to build the bars out for as long as
Do
possible.
you reckon they'll just do like it'll be a tour or a one-off concert? Or do you reckon they got another?
You're making
album?
it sound like that's a really small thing. That'd be massive. That would sell out within seconds.
But do you
yeah.
reckon
A
they'll,
small thing would be like a vinyl re-release.
Yeah,
yeah.
which I thought they did like a couple years ago.
Wonderwall remaster.
Yeah, because usually they'll do
It was
like,
like
an
an anniversary, yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, they're coming back. And they're like, nah, they're just trying to sell you the same shit they sold you
Yeah,
20 years ago.
it's
But
one-
it sounds a little bit better.
It's one's just got Noel and one just has Liam.
You
That's
gotta
it.
buy-
I've seen both of them live.
Yeah, I've seen...
We
which
saw-
which brother, we've done this before, which brother do you prefer?
I feel like Liam's more, you hear more about him. He seems kind of ruder, but he's kind of funny.
What
Which
about
one did we see at you two?
No.
Yeah, no. Oh, Noel was a bit rude. I
They're
thought
both
Noel
very
was
rude, yeah.
That's
They're
how-
both
that's
rude
the-
guys.
I have to go with Noel because I've seen him.
I like Liam. Liam by a distance. But Liam's got a bit of that rude edge that I have as well. Like he's
Yeah.
a bit more of a C word.
Yeah, I think he would be fine with you saying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But do
Come on.
they obviously, they hate each other is like the
Yeah.
thing.
Do you reckon they do?
Do they though? Or are they just like,
I heard
how
that-
long do you think we can hold this out and make
Well, it's the
fucking
smart
money, man?
Yeah, it's the smartest thing.
Because every time they're in interviews, they just talk shit about each other.
Yeah.
But didn't
That's
you
all
hear-
anyone wants to talk about.
But I feel like if they actually hated each other, they would be more like,
We don't talk about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Don't talk about
like
the
us
brother
with the
guy.
fourth brother.
Yeah.
Didn't you hear that they the last time they saw each other? the last time they ever saw each other.
When was that?
Reportedly.
What? Christmas lunch.
No, they performed at a festival together, and then as they were leaving that festival, that was the last time they reportedly saw each other.
That can't be
That
right.
can't be
I read
true.
that article last year.
Are their folks still alive or
Apparently,
together?
they haven't heard or spoken to each other since that festival.
But then how are they organising this
Well,
announcement?
they must have.
It is interesting
Nah,
because,
that
like, imagine
can't
if
be
there was
true.
imagine if there was a huge feud. I guess there's lesser families that do it.
Yeah.
Like you just don't like a sister, for example, and you're just like, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna
true,
come around
yeah.
for Christmas.
Actually, most families probably have.
yeah,
There's a one.
like when she leaves for Christmas, we'll come for Christmas. That might be
Yeah,
the play.
Yeah,
Wouldn't know anything about that.
So that's probably what they've just been running. Is there any other siblings in the Gallagher family?
No idea. You think
Imagine if there was.
That
Imagine
one's
if
probably
there-
got real beef.
Imagine if there was a third brother and he's just like, no, I'll play with you.
Liam, Noel, and Joel.
It's
It's
like,
like
nah, don't worry about it, Barry. Just sit down. Just sit down, man.
because there's
No
like
one's
the
interested.
other Jonas brother
Yes.
and the other Hemsworth.
Yes.
Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
And in a couple of years, I reckon there'll be another MacPack brother, and it'll just be the Jake and Riley show. Joe will become the
I'll be the Gallagher.
You'll be doing
Joe
sold
will
no,
out
be doing
shows.
solo podcast.
Now they only have.
Oh, you gotta not say that.
Yeah, that's a vape. That is a niche vape.
That's one that no one would
We're
get, but
beefing
we've
it.
got to
We
do it
don't-
anyway.
If one person listened, they would be annoyed.
They would be heartbroken.
It doesn't look like they have any other brothers or anything. Just the two of them, and they're like in their 50s. Get over it.
There you go.
Come on, boys, grow up.
Well, very exciting news. It'll probably be by the time this episode comes out. They'll probably be back together, have a fight, and then it won't be happening
Yeah,
again.
that'll probably be it. It'll be like right before they go on, they'll have a tiff,
Yeah.
and then it's just over.
It's been 15 years since they were last a band.
That's huge.
Yeah, because imagine if you hadn't seen them, and the only times you hear of them is when they're talking shit about you in an interview.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
But
be a nice feeling.
Nah, but I think they get it.
Yeah.
They're both into it. It makes
Yeah,
it seem
it's
like it's an
fucking
inside
fun.
joke.
Surely they then text each other, man, I just fucking ripped you an absolute
Well,
freshie.
Read the GQ tomorrow morning, brother.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, golly gosh. Speaking of exciting news, or maybe less so exciting news, the Fremantle Dockers have been pumped out of the
Yes.
the finals. The finals are set in exciting news.
Very exciting.
It's been a long, hectic, rather unpredictable season.
Yeah, 25 weeks.
Of which we always do our predictions at the start of the year, but we don't actually play them till after the grand final. So
Of course.
we've still got another month or
Already
so
forgotten
to
why.
pretend that file is going to delete itself.
Yeah,
Because I don't reckon we hit anything on the head. I think we went pies for flag, and they're not even.
that's not possible.
Yeah. So, what are our thoughts on how it's all sort of worked out?
Up the bloody Hawks, boys.
He's on the Hawks train.
I'm on the Hawks train. What does
Yes.
Hawk mean?
What?
That's how they're referring to themselves.
Hawk.
The Hawks.
Hawk tour.
Taking out
They're
the
doing the
W.
Hawk tour.
Taking out the W.
How
The
exciting.
W. Yeah, I think I like the Hawks. I feel like, obviously, you don't want to pick a top 4 team. It's a bit too basic. You
Yeah.
want to go for the underdog.
Only one team in the last however many years has won it from further out than fourth.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen too frequently. I feel like if it's going to happen this year, it might be it. It was exciting. I was at the Dockers game over the weekend, and obviously they needed Carlton to lose.
Yes.
And bus ride in. Everyone on the bus is watching the game or listening to the game, and then we actually arrive at the game. There would have been about 5 minutes left of the Blues
Saints.
Saints game still on when we pulled up on the bus, and atmosphere was probably more palpable outside the stadium before the game than it almost was by the time. It definitely was by the time the siren went inside the game.
Yeah, because the Saints were up. They had a lead going into the last quarter.
Correct.
And then Carlton, with about 5-6 minutes to go, they took the lead by about 3 points. For me, 4. So you're thinking Saints need to kick 1 goal in 6 minutes, and then Freo could play final.
They hadn't kicked a goal all quarter, and then literally everyone, there would have been thousands of people walking around at the stadium with their phones out. I was
I
one
think
of them.
everyone in WA would have been watching the
Just
game.
watching this, like the Telstra's numbers would have just gone through the roof in WA for a period because everyone was just like staring at their phones, walking past the Canfield, extraordinarily loud scenes. Basically, everyone's just riding each bump. Ball goes out of bounds, like everything. There was atmosphere. we could hear the crowd from outside the stadium from inside. So the people inside, we could hear them cheering on the outside. That was a pretty hectic scene.
Oh, everyone's thinking the same thing.
Yeah, and then once they kicked a goal, there was just high fives amongst people who had never met each other. Like phone in one hand, high fives in the other. Everyone was up and about. There was a sense of optimism at Optus Stadium that Fremantle they had the opportunity to play finals, and in the most Fremantle fashion, they just couldn't do it.
So they've lost the last 4 games.
They haven't won in August.
So there's only been 6 teams in history that had a top 4 finish and then lost more than 3 games to not make finals.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's outlandish. I remember watching that Essendon game a month ago.
They lost by
And that if they had won, there was talk that could have slid them up. Definitely top 2, potentially top 1.
and they went down by a point.
And then instead they bow out of the finals, going 0-4 in August and looking really dire. They've only played finals 1 year of the last 9 years, which is a pretty hectic run.
Because when did they make
When you think like you
the
go,
grand final?
2013.
so the only time they've gone back to the finals was in 2022 when the Pies pumped
We
them out.
beat them, yeah.
But I don't know. You look at them and you're like, they're not that bad.
Exactly.
But then you go, you haven't played final. You played finals once in nearly a decade.
But are they not? They're not bad enough that they're not getting anything. You know,
Yeah,
like
I don't think they will want a spoon in that time.
yeah.
You sort of want to bottom out. So
you
that
want
you
to
can
get the
bounce
Harley
back.
Reid or something like that.
Yeah. So they're just, I don't know. They're in a.
Being middle of the
Whoa.
table is almost worse.
You're in no man's land.
Yeah, you could be in the middle of the table for a long time.
Yeah.
Now's not a time to be bad either. Because
then you
Tassie
start-
going to get all these picks in a matter of years.
and
it's
then
all
your
gonna come
stars might want to leave. But who wants to come to the middle of the table team?
Exactly right. So, yes, big scenes. I think they get Shea Bolton in the off-season. I think next year is their chance to play finals. If they don't do it next year, I don't know. Questions.
Yeah, because
Questions.
actually...
They've got the talent. They've got some fantastic players. They've got 5 players who got named in the All-Australian squad.
Yeah, Clark looks like Riley, our guy.
Eek.
Riley goes out there every week and
Actually,
plays.
I was at work the other day, and there's another department on the other side of the place that I work. And this lady who I've spoken to a couple of times, she came up to me randomly and said, I thought you were playing footy the other day. I was watching the game, and I swear to God, I was like, what's Riley doing out there?
Were you working at
And
the
I
same
was-
time
He
the
looks
game
so
was
much
on?
like you. And
And
I've
I-
been saying this for years.
And I was like, who was it? And then I knew it was going to be Jordan Clark.
Imagine if she had a
Jordan
gone.
Clark.
Imagine if she had gone with someone completely different.
Freddie.
You look a little bit like Michael Frederick.
Banter.
Anyway, so who do we think? We'll finish on this. Who plays in the grand final? Who wins the grand final?
Sydney, GWS.
Yeah, I've got a Sydney Derby.
That would be sick.
But I want the Hawks. It's just as long as it's the bird team.
What have you got?
I don't know if this will work out, but Swamps and Hawks.
That would be anything.
Hawks won.
I think Sydney. I don't know. They had the form a couple months ago. They've sort of shut their bed ever since. I think they're poised. I'm like,
Literally.
yeah.
They've shut the bed just like me.
Alrighty, boys, got some hectic new news from one of our favourite sites, the McDonald's site. I actually got. I don't know about you guys, but I got a personalised email from them today, alerting me to new news.
That is
New news.
New menu news.
Ronald McDonald Nudes.
And I'm surprised that no one else. I've sort of asked you both. Did you get an email? No one seems to have got an email.
No.
So they're hitting me
They're letting
directly.
you in. Yeah.
They must be well aware that I like.
Because you eat so much maggots.
I'm on a VIP list.
You've been
somewhere.
cookied, bro.
It's surrounding our favourite loose change menu,
Oh, the loose change menu.
which has seen some iterations over the journey.
has,
I must
it has.
say. Any hot favourites? Any favourite meal items from the menu?
The loose change. Ooh, I liked the $1 frozen Coke.
Dollar frozen Coke, dollar chips was good.
I was a big fan way back of the dollar fries, and way back they used to do dollar cheeseburgers for a very short window of
I
time.
remember that.
But they were banging out dollar cheeseburgers, and my favourite of all
That's how much they should be.
was when they were doing 3 for $3, and you could get a drink, a small drink, a small cheeseburger, and a small chips for $3.
That is
Fantastic.
fucking great value.
Now with the cost
This
of
was in
living,
2002, right?
this is 2018, I reckon.
Wow.
It's not that long ago, but the cost of living crisis obviously
Yep.
kicked in since then.
Yep, that'll cost you $9.
And so while there is a new loose change menu, I feel like they're really leaning on the word new, and not many of the items are in fact new. So I'm going to go through them all, but there is one big hitter, which we've spoken about before, and coming into summer will be very important
The McRib.
that it is back. $1 frozen Cokes, and all frozen flavors. Any size, $1.
That's
Yep.
huge.
I feel like that's been
Fair
the case
enough.
for a long time.
Yeah, it's
They're
very cheap
$2.
to make.
So probably don't have to continue to advertise that one.
They're $2 now though, so that's half price.
Okay, well they're back.
It was
Slashed.
crazy because when I was like a kid, I remember like a slushie was like
Oh yeah, $9.
super expensive, and then all of a sudden, $1.
Yeah.
The cost to make a frozen Coke, having worked in the cinema industry,
Yeah.
cost to make a frozen Coke is a lot cheaper than the cost just to make a normal Coke.
14 cents.
Yeah,
Because it's mainly
because it's all
ice.
ice.
The margins are
The
hectic.
Ice is free.
So $1 frozen Cokes have returned. $2 apple pies.
That's good.
Oh, that's good. Apple pies are.
Apple pie and a soft serve.
As someone who can't eat much from the Macca's menu, the apple pie is up there for me.
Yeah, baby.
And I'm just looking now at the apple pies. So they're normally $2.90. So it is
90 cents. That's a
you take that. You take
a
that.
third off, basically.
You take that. The filet-o fish,
Oh,
which is a meal I've
Yeah.
never been fortunate enough to consume, is $3.50.
compared
Fuck, that's a
to
lot.
And apparently, looking at their menu, just for that item
Filet-o
normally,
fish. What fish is it?
just for that item normally, $6.50. Which seems like a lot.
who's ordering that?
What fish is it? Do they say? Cod?
No, they don't mention that.
Shark?
It's
Right.
O fish.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Filet O
filet.
fish. Yeah.
Filet-o
Filet O
fish.
fish. The hamburger is $2, which I think has been the case for I reckon going on 4 years now. So I reckon we can stop pretending that that's
Hamburger. Do they sell many of them? Who goes? I'd love a burger. Hold the cheese.
There was a period when I was in
I used
uni.
to.
Well, there was a period when I was in uni,
It's Poppa Man's meal.
yeah.
and I couldn't.
You have
eat-
your own
I
slice.
am
of-
that Poppa Man.
You have your own craft single that you put in at home.
What are you saying, Joe?
Okay. Well, last week. So when I was at uni, let's just do the math on this one. Okay. Because when I was at uni, what I used to do was I would get the hamburger, the $2 hamburger.
yeah.
And we lived not that far away.
More.
So I'd just get home, put a craft,
Oh, you
Put a-
would. You did what we were just talking about.
put a craft cheese.
Joe was just doing gear about that.
No, I
Yeah,
don't.
we just- I mean, hey, you'd have to be a total lunatic to do that.
And then I'd microwave it, and then man, it was basically identical. I just want to quickly do the math on it because
Their cheese is good though.
it's the same shit.
It's American cheese.
It's a
It's
$2
American.
None of that.
It's
cheddar.
orange.
Yeah.
a $2 hamburger. Right. Let me have a look at how much a cheeseburger is.
So what are you doing after this, Joey?
A cheeseburger is $4.95. So they're pricing that.
Cheeseburger.
So they're pricing that piece of cheese at $2.95. In my opinion, I wonder if you could buy a hamburger. What would it be? 50 cents to add cheese?
Add the cheese.
A day let you do that?
Surely, no, loose change menu. Surely it's like no additions.
Who knows? That's a good one.
Slipping through my fingers all the time.
And most excitingly, of the new, quote unquote new, because as we've noticed, few items that seem to be reappearing and re-advertised. The item we all know and love coming into summer. We've spoken about it before. The soft serve cone.
Laminate.
The soft serve cone returns to 50 cents, ladies and
Let's go.
gentlemen. 50 cents.
How much were they flogging us for it before, Joe?
$1.15.
$3.
$1.15 seems to be what we were asked to pay earlier.
$1.15.
You're taking
So that
us for a ride,
So that is
Macca's.
that's a massive discount. That is more than 50%.
Wow.
Yeah, that's insane. And the best thing about that is they've got the soft serve and the apple pie. That's the ultimate dessert.
What were they doing? They were going a soft serve cone $1.15, and their previous loose change item was a soft serve
With a flake.
cone with a flake for $1.50. Fuck the
flake.
flake off. It's back to 50 cents, folks.
Let's go.
That's very exciting come
That's
Christmas
massive
time.
for the
Are they-
community.
The flakes, right?
Uh,
So you know how now if you buy a flake from like you get like a single
Yeah.
pack flake.
They're tiny.
They're like really tiny. So Macca's getting these customized flakes sent to
they're-
them.
No, I think if you get a proper flake, so if you went and bought like not one of the small flakes, if you went and bought a
single,
flake,
yep.
like it was like the delicacy, I think they come in a pack of 2, don't they? They're big sticks.
You're
they're
not
just-
getting one of them in your
no, you're getting a little one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting a massive 6-incher.
No, but they can't. It can't be the little one. You're paying.
I reckon they're going off-brand. I don't reckon it's Cadbury.
That's
Nah.
what that was basically.
I reckon it's
No, I think-
Macca's chocolate.
I think the
Do
legally
they call
have
it a
to.
flake?
Yeah, because legally they have to. They can't say it's Coca-Cola and just like it's just Gary out the back with his sock just stepping around in some shit going, man, it tastes the same.
Well, they do call it the flow of fish. And no aquatic life is seen in that.
So what do we think about the new items?
It's massive for the industry,
Yeah, it'll
for the people.
Your
cost of
ass-
living is done.
your assholes. Alrighty, boys, we teased this off the top. Very exciting indeed. For the first time in what we seem to think is 3 years,
Feels like 30.
Franky Mac has joined us back on the podcast for yet another Father's Day episode. How are you, sir?
Good.
You got to
You're
speak
talking
into
to the
it.
microphone.
Good chaps. It feels like that's the first time I've been here. I just got to make sure who everyone is around me.
There you go.
Do we have name tags?
It is always a bit of a tricky one when Dad comes on because it's usually the most edited version of the podcast. And we've already mentioned we're putting at least one beep in so far. I reckon that number is about to
Get used to the noise.
really
I
multiply.
haven't sworn yet, have I?
Not yet. You've been on for 40 seconds. So.
Fuck it.
Let's kick things off by asking. Obviously, it's been 3 years since you were last here. What's been going on over the last 3 years, Papa?
Not a lot.
What have you been getting up to?
Very little.
What's changed in the last 3 years, Pops?
The garden's a mess. Don't know. You guys have got older and
We have.
a bit more
I don't live
responsible.
here anymore. I was living here.
Jace
probably
moved
the
out.
last time.
How's
Jake
that?
moved out. That was good.
How's that been? How's that change of pace been?
It hasn't really changed anything. Every time I turn around, he's at the front door. I'm sitting in the fucking lounge.
That's fair enough.
That's true.
Don't mind coming back every now and then.
Every now and again.
Or I get phone calls. Oh, this isn't working.
Yeah, that's been Dad's been a big help recently.
My
We've,
power's out.
yeah, power's out recently.
Check the meter box.
Power's out. We've been moving a lot of furniture. Dad's been a huge help in assisting doing that. Moving furniture upstairs is one thing. Moving furniture upstairs with Dad is a completely other thing.
Picking the furniture up is another thing.
Yeah, Dad loves picking the furniture up.
Like a hole in the head.
But yeah, no, it's been good. Boys, you got a few questions as well that we're going to rattle
Yes,
through, in
I do.
addition to a few
Oh.
that the people at home have sent through as well.
Going to the prodigal child for the first question.
Yes. What is your favorite thing about living in Australia?
We're far away from everyone else.
That's fair enough.
Fantastic. Yeah. Because obviously your family grew up in Ireland
Yeah.
and you were the first one born here. So is there anything in particular that you appreciate from growing up here?
Well, being born here, so that sort of makes me the normal one out of my family.
Black.
I'm the only real Aussie in the family McKenna clan.
That's
All my sisters are foreigners.
Yep. And that's right. He is the normal one.
And I'm the
Listeners,
normal
take,
one.
take note.
It might be hard to believe. You
God,
would have
I-
seen a few hectic summers. You worked as a bricklayer for a long period of time. You would have seen some hectic summers.
Yep, been to hell and back.
What was it like laying bricks in 45-degree heat?
You get used to it. Just drink a lot
Of water?
of everything.
That's fair.
More fluids, the better.
Yeah,
In and out.
yeah. Used to work 7 days a week. Used to drink 7 nights a week, just to get me there.
When was this?
Can't be good for you.
I don't know, from the age of 14 to
40.
30 or 40 when I stopped.
There you go.
Yeah, fantastic.
So,
Words of wisdom early.
Yeah, so sort of on note with that, how do you think that young people have changed from now compared to when you were growing up?
oh, they're soft. Fucking pussies. Seriously.
What do you mean?
In
Why?
what way?
Give
In
us
what
an
way?
example that's appropriate to share with people outside of the
You
room.
couldn't work in an iron lung.
What does that mean?
Well, an iron lung just operates normally.
Yeah, okay.
Automatically. You guys couldn't. You don't know. You just don't. This generation doesn't know what hard work is.
That's fair.
That is fair.
Everything's touch this and flip that and download that, and it's a complete new generation.
Do you think it's better?
No,
What about doing that?
no.
Do you think that you would have prospered in an environment that wasn't your own if you woke up today and you were 20?
Oh yeah, I'd make it work.
To what degree? What would you do?
Download, flip that.
Everything.
Drink.
The dark web would be good. That's where you're making money.
That's fair enough.
I've got a question that goes off the back of that. If you were our age now, do you think that you would be friends with us? Do you think that we would
Are
all
we
get
your
along?
sort of people? Yeah, that's
So
a good question.
You, when you were 20, either 21 to 25, do you reckon we would all be hanging out?
Yeah, I party with everybody.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Didn't matter who's who.
As long as they were drinking.
As long
As
as you
long
gotta
as
be
they were
out.
going hard. They were in my circle.
That's it.
Go hard or go home.
That's all that matters. Joey?
What's one thing from today, like the modern world, that you wish you had growing up?
My Porsche.
Must be very nice.
Yes, it is.
That would have been good.
What
growing
was your
up.
first car?
What was my first car? VW station wagon.
I always hear you say that.
I'm trying to think. That wouldn't have worked too well on the job site, would it?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Just got to get you there, right?
Yeah, I was only 16 when I bought it.
So you didn't have to bring any of the shit.
Yeah, I just brought my toolbox. My
Yeah, that's fair.
bucket of tools. And my esky.
What was in the esky? What was like your go-to pack of lunch when you were on
Yeah.
the work site? 'Cause everyone's got their favourite lunch.
Oh, hamburger, chopped milk, chips.
There you go. Are you making that, or is that a servo run?
No, at the shop. Every day you do a smoko run about 9:30.
Seems early.
No, because they start
Started
working
at
at
7. Went up since 5.
early for us because we started.
Yeah, I'm waking up at night, having lunch.
I would only have one break. Oh, well, I'd have a small break at lunchtime. Some of the guys used to bring half a carton. One used to have it in a...
Shout out to our good friends at WorkSafe.
Yeah. How you going? One guy used to have those water tubs, and I think he used to fit 6 or 8 stubbies in it. It was huge. I said, "What's in that?" And he goes, "Fuck off." I said, "Okay, got it. No drinking water out of that bad boy."
That's fair
That
enough.
was Chris. Did you ever meet Chris?
No, shout out to Chris.
Maybe that's for the.
Is he still with us?
He's in Queensland. They used to call him Chris White or Chris Black because he was Sri Lankan and Pom.
Right, so you
Right.
could sort of play to both
Yeah,
cards.
he
to
was
some
black. He
degree.
was in, Sri Lankan. He was
Yeah.
dark skin. Good bloke.
What's one thing you experienced growing up that you wish we, as new generation guys, experienced? Is there something that you're like, oh, I wish the boys were around for something like that?
Yeah, that's true.
That kind of
Well,
party,
yeah.
that kind of drink, that kind of banter. Do you think we're missing out on anything that you got to?
Or events or moments in time.
Yeah.
I don't know. We used to have there was a lot of different things going to the beach on the weekends. Concerts on the beach. They used to have like rock concerts on weekends at Point Walter and like
That's cool.
like battles of the bands.
Yeah, cool. It does sound like
a
a
bit
lot.
more like local.
Local
Yeah.
bands would go to like Point Walter and they'd have like play a couple of songs each, and then the crowd would sort of, by the cheering or whatever, would say they won or they didn't win.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
cool.
And did they play songs you knew? Were they cover bands? Or were they
Yeah, some
singing
of them covers, some of them like news.
But you'd seen a lot of bands like back in the day. It wasn't as big barrier to entry as well. Like a lot of bands could just play every now and then. Like, what are some of the big names that you saw at like the raffles, for example? Just like local bars and pubs. Then like huge bands would come and play.
Oh, George Thorogood, Canned Heat. Oh, heaps. I don't know. Can't remember. I was pretty
Did you see
pissed.
like Did you see like you two at the raffles?
In excess? In excess?
Yeah,
no.
I saw
Oh,
someone-
NXS, yeah, used to play.
You make-
all the time.
At the raffles. Never tear us apart. Imagine
Yeah,
that.
I used to
live.
see them in the local pubs. Used to be more
AC/DC?
pubs. Used to be like the Overflow. There was a Scarborough pub on Scarborough Beach Road. Then there was a Charles Hotel. Raffles. There was lots of different venues.
Who's like the equivalent, do you reckon, Riley, to In Excess now?
I don't know if it'd be like a band. It's more like rappers and stuff.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
DJs and used to be the
Like Fred
Angels.
again?
Angels was
Yeah, but like, could you imagine seeing Fred again at like the Burrender?
raffles?
Yeah, like just roll through your local pub.
That's the thing. there's-
Midnight Oil. Saw them at the Cottesloe.
Like that's huge.
I wonder if it's because
was
there's
the
more
first-
people, but you wouldn't fit. It would be like dangerous to have that many people fill the raffles.
Nah. No, it was alright.
And how do they advertise their gigs? Because there wasn't like social media,
Yeah, like, how do you
and they
find
wouldn't.
out?
And In Excess aren't putting like a
there used to
TV
be
ad on.
like a a gig guide in the paper.
Yeah, okay.
And you just tell you what bands are playing at different places. But I saw Midnight Oil at the Cottesloe Hotel. And I rocked up, and I was with this chick, and the chick goes, "Oh, $3 again." I said, "Fuck, what, $3? What's going on here?" And it was the first time I ever paid cover charge for a band.
Oh wow.
$3.
Yeah, $3. I said, "Fucking want to be good."
How much was $3 back then compared to now? Or would that be like $15, $20?
That was like a beer.
Yeah, so you
Okay.
get 10, $15.
Yeah, 10, 15.
Which is barrier to entry to literally every club ever.
Yeah. Then
Without anything.
that was the
Yeah,
first time
these
they
days.
started cover charge, and I think I was 18.
You'd hope so.
And
came
but I'd
second.
been going to that pub for about
There we go.
4 years.
Yeah, cool. Because was there just less rules? Could you just get like?
Were there IDs?
There's so many barriers to trying to sneak into a place now. So any of like the under 18s listening wouldn't even be like on their agenda.
Like people who are under 18 these days climb on the roof of clubs and try to get in through like the side.
Yeah, it's desperate.
Little holes in the wall.
No,
It's
those
crazy.
days, they were just we used to walk. If you looked old enough, I used to get mates to drive me, and I was only 15, 16. And they were actually had a driver's license. They used to get asked for ID, and I used to just walk in and say, "I'll get you drinks."
the
And they
14-year-old.
just look at me and go, "Fucking McKenna."
There you
That's all
go.
you need.
It's all that sun.
I got away with murder.
Yeah,
Hopefully that's figures.
that's our bombshell.
So far,
That'll be Netflix doco coming soon.
but I knew a lot of the bouncers, and my sisters used to work at a lot of hotels, so I'd rock up to bikie pubs and things like that.
What about like before, say like a prees these days would be like, all right, you invite 10 of the boys, we'll go to Jeremy's house, we'll get a speaker, put it in the middle, and then we'll play drinking games around a table out the back.
Yeah.
And then maybe it'll turn into a bit of a dance party with all the boys before you catch Ubers and go out. How did you used to get to a party? What would be happening at the prees? And then how would you get from A to B before the Uber and taxi ranks?
I never really did taxis or Uber or anything like that.
drive.
No such thing as prees. I used to go home from work, sleep, get up, start drinking about 8, 9, go hard, and then just jump in my car and drive. And then get to the raffles or whatever, and then team up with the boys and say, right, where we going now?
So how would you know that people were going to be at the raffles?
It was just,
Or you just
Everyone's
hope?
just there.
that was just it.
But like, there's so many different pubs and clubs and hotels now that it's like
Yeah.
half of the boys could be in Freo, half of the boys could be in the city. How do you know who's going to be where?
I think your circle was much bigger. You just
Well, it didn't matter where I
Just rock
went.
up
You
and
bump
find
into
someone.
people.
Yeah, it didn't matter where I went. I knew people. But I used to like hang out at the raffles because I had a pretty tight group there.
Yeah, that's fair. And then where would you leave your car? Or you just
Didn't drive,
just get back in it?
just drove.
And was that the norm, or were you sort of the?
Yeah, that was the norm.
So everyone was just piled, and then
Yeah, no seatbelt.
Hop in.
Yeah, no seatbelts or anything like that. You just climb in.
And were there like breathos, like roadside? Like, did you
Well,
have to go
eventually
back
they
streets?
came in when I was mid-20s. They came out. But there wasn't that many cops around. It was good. And if they did pull you over, you knew them. So they let you off.
Oh, that's good.
see, I reckon like
It
that's
would've
not
been
that
so
long
much
ago.
fun.
What's that? 30, 40 years ago.
It just sounds like it's like a country town.
Yeah.
yeah. It's,
Yeah, I've been pulled over by cops. I gave a cop a run across the freeway once.
What does that mean?
Well,
On foot?
no, I was in the car and he was on a motorbike. And we're coming home from the movies.
And
And
you were pissed.
no, I wasn't actually. And
You just thought you'd just go.
got him on
a
an
mate
off.
of mine was in the car.
I'm innocent, but let's drive.
And his girlfriend was in the car, and I'm shooting along the freeway coming from the city, and I was doing about, I don't know, I was over the speed limit,
Oh, there we go.
doing 100, 120, and I come shooting past him. I looked at him and went, fuck, that's a cop light. And I just went, fuck it. So I bricked it. Because he was standing there booking someone. I thought, well, I've got half a chance here.
He's just
So-
got to get back on the bike. Put
I
his helmet
shot
on.
down the freeway, pulled off at South Terrace exit, shot down a few side streets, pulled up down this dark street, turned my headlights and just sat there. The next minute, a motorbike cop pulls up next to me.
Oh,
And my mate looks at me and goes, "You're fucked." And I said, "Yeah, I know." And I got out and I'd done a few radical bits on overtaking the emergency stopping lane and overtaking all these cars quite radically. And then I pulled up and he pulled up next to me and I said, "Holy shit." So I got out And he's walking around the car and checking my registration, see if I had a sticker on the windscreen. And I'm walking around and I'm looking at him going, fucking, who's this guy? And he's just checking me out, and then he takes his helmet off, and we used to go to church together. And he liked my sister, and he goes, oh, what's Rose up to? And I said, oh, Rose is good. She's doing this, this, and this, and this, and this. And he goes, oh, say hi to Rose for us. I said, no problems. He goes, drive carefully next time.
That's unreal.
Wow.
I said, no worries.
These days, if you booked it from a cop, they wouldn't even ask. They wouldn't say
they'd
anything
shoot
to
you.
you. They'd get you out of the car and cuff you straight away.
Oh, yeah, I
you
know.
don't even need a
Yeah,
word.
ask questions later.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Do you reckon our growing up, our lives would have been different if we had have heard all of Dad's stories?
I've sheltered you from
Yeah. I think we behave a lot more.
A bit looser.
Yeah.
That cop, I met him a year or two later. And we're going along Scarborough Beach Road, and we come around this bend. And I was with Luke, my mate Luke.
Yeah.
And we're going to a mate's 21st birthday from school. And we come screaming around. I was in my Beetle, and we come screaming around the bend. And all I see is this police sign down the side of a car in a service station. I said, oh, shit. And before they actually turned their car on and put their lights on, I'd already pulled over in a bus stop because I knew they were
Waiting for him.
Yeah, because I knew they were waiting for me because they had me on the speed camera thing.
Oh.
So I pulled over, and then he pulls up next to me, and he gets out of the car, and he's wearing his bike gear. And I said, oh, Con, how you going, mate? And he goes, oh, good, Frank, how you going? And he checked out looking for my rego on my...
Why? What are they getting from your rego?
Well, they see if his car's registered or not.
And that's what they care about. Not the
Well,
fact that
now they just do it digitally, but back then they put like a sticker on the back of
Sticker
your
on
car.
the car, it goes for 12 months or 6 months.
Yeah.
All right.
And he goes, where's your sticker? And I said, it's in the glove box. I said, it just had replaced the windscreen. And he's sort of doing a few things, and he gets it, goes to the glove box, finds the sticker, checks out if there's anything else in there that shouldn't be. And he checks the car out, and he goes, right, no worries. He goes, where are you off to? And I said, oh, party. And he goes, drive carefully. Next time, I'm busting you for everything. I said, no worries. Hopefully he won't be here next time.
Was there?
Nah, I haven't
Good
seen
man.
him for a while.
There you go. Lovely.
Is he still in the force, that bloke?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
Probably boss man.
Hopefully he's enforcing more laws these days.
Yeah.
A bit more regimental now.
Yeah, I think
And-
life as a
but
rule
Were you
seems
like?
to be.
Were you so with the reason you were so loose and lax about it, and so shocked by there being cops there that there weren't many around? Because now it's like I drive around a corner
And
and
they're
I'm like,
everywhere.
I'm always looking. They're everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
And like
Before it
speed
wasn't.
cameras weren't really a thing at all until
And
very
the city
recently.
wasn't that big, you know. The city wasn't, you know. You got to South Street a bit further, and that was about as far as it went.
There you go.
And then Armidale and then out that way. But yeah, I don't know. There wasn't that many cops. Breathalyzers came in a bit later. Then everybody was getting pulled over.
I wonder why.
No one had a license for 6 years.
Yeah. But I got pulled over a few times, and I was pretty pumped. And I'm going, fuck, this is going to be interesting. And then they put me on the bag, and it used to read .01.
There you go.
So the bags didn't work.
Drive on.
And I said, what's that mean? He goes, you can go. And I said, jolly good then.
Where am I?
He goes, next time turn your headlights on. I said, don't worry, I will.
So obviously with Father's Day coming up this weekend, you work with your dad for a long period of time. Have you got any funny stories? We're obviously hearing a fair few funny stories about you.
Forever. I've worked for my father.
But what about your dad? Have you got any funny stories about the relationship between you and your dad?
It was a love-hate relationship. I loved him, he hated me.
Oh, goodness. Because he was your boss basically for a large percentage of your bricklaying years.
Oh, yeah, forever and a day.
What was he like to work with? Like, you're obviously allowing, what was it, a 6-pack of beers just to float on through?
Oh, yeah, that was lunchtime. Everyone used to, we would do a bottle shot run at lunchtime.
Or on a Wednesday or something.
Oh, every day. Yeah. Especially if it was warm. It was warm weather. We'd all go get, 2 or 3 stubbies each and have it for lunch. That was just the norm. And then
So
Builder used to buy them. And then he'd come in lunchtime and he'd go, oh, my buy today. And he'd give me a red back and I'd go buy a carton. And then the next days, he'd rock up and we'd be buying him beers. It was just a sociable thing to do.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
What about your dad? Have you got any funny stories about working with your dad?
Oh, every day was a different day with him. They're all funny stories.
It's hard to think of them on the spot when you got so many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They usually come up organically, don't they?
Yeah. One of the other guys that used to work for him, he goes, because I used to come late every day, half an hour late. I was to set the pace for everyone. I said, I'm coming late to let you just catch up. And by the way, I'm leaving early. I said, I can't be late twice in one day. So that was a bit of an ongoing joke with the boys.
Yeah, nice.
And he wouldn't care. He just let you.
Just shake his head and go, wanker.
That's good. That's all you need.
That's fair. I don't know whose question this is, but someone asked, what is the most surprising part of becoming a father?
That was mine. What was something you weren't expecting? Or is there anything that's come up along the way you've been like, oh, that was a curly one?
No, not really. Just take it in your stride. Every day is different.
Like, were you shocked you were, would have been, 30 odd when you found out that
32, 33.
you and Mum were having me?
Yes.
What was that like?
That was good. That's the whole game of life, isn't it? Sort of keep the bloodline going.
Were you at all scared, nervous, or anything like that? Or was it just
No,
like,
not really.
play on?
Yeah, just take every day as it comes. As long as you're healthy, that's all I cared about.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's good.
Just got to keep working, paying the bills. As long as you do that, you're good.
Did you think you were ever going to have 3 boys? Were there any hopes that there'd be a girl come along?
No, it didn't worry me. As long as they're healthy and no headaches.
Ah, well, the first one's right. Most of the time.
Yeah, as long as they're healthy, that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
you're
that's
having
fair.
Kids.
Yeah.
You
Ma-
just don't want anything, health issues are always a bit of a headache.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I think we've gotten pretty lucky over the journey. We haven't really had anything that was
No.
too hectic.
Yeah.
No, not really. A lot of sport.
A lot of expensive facial teeth things going on.
Yeah, heaps of. I've never spent so much money on teeth in my life.
Mum has obviously known you for a very long time, but she asked the question, where does the term pickle me grandmother come from?
Oh, pickle me grandmother. That comes from Kingswood Country TV show, and the old bloke would always go, "Pickle me grandmother. You're not taking the Kingswood."
Yeah, right.
And what's the Kingswood?
That's a car.
That was his pride. And
Oh,
joy.
okay.
He'd be out there and go, "Oh, I've been polishing the wheels today because they're all chrome mags." But it was an old TV show. Kingswood Country. Look it up.
Yeah,
It's
well.
very funny.
What other? He always says. He just
Yeah,
says
well,
the most random shit. Stormy weather. That got a run on radio the other week.
Yeah.
Joe was talking about storms.
Stormy weather.
Is that something you just made
No,
up?
it's
or
a
is-
song.
That's a song, huh? I don't know.
It's
No
like an
idea.
old, like soul song.
Is it?
Yeah, I've looked it up.
All right.
Might have to
Dad's
give it a
rendition
spin.
is very
But when
accurate.
when you're working outside, you get all sorts of weather. So when it's stormy, you're going, stormy weather. Yeah,
That means the job's done for the day, right?
yeah,
Go home.
if it rains, we're out of there.
And you always there's always music on the job. So I remember going to like see Dad work. Ever since we were kids, we'd always go visit Dad,
Yeah, you had to have a radio.
laying bricks, and the tunes are just always pumping.
Oh yeah, from the time you start to the time you finish.
Yeah.
What station would you listen to?
Years ago, it used to be 96 FM.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have any commercials or ads, and that was about it.
That's
Yeah.
the
94.4 and whatever.
that's
Yeah.
the resident tradie station.
Yeah.
96 FM.
96.
96.
They do like 3 hours without
No ad.
any spoken
Yeah.
words.
What's
add
the other?
three
What's
fortnight.
the other ones they have? Like music ones.
Triple M.
That's it.
Triple M gets a run.
Yeah, that's a bit of a big one.
Yeah.
But it all depends. I've had these Indian guys and they go, "Hey, young."
What do you mean? On their radio?
Yeah, all their top pops.
They bring their Indian
Yeah.
Bollywood music.
Bollywood music. And then
Yeah,
there's a few
That's right.
a few Aussie guys going, I said, "You guys know the words?" They go, "I don't know the words."
Yeah, don't guess on what you just tried to.
No.
I remember I went and worked. I don't know if you boys are aware. I went for like a 2-day.
Yeah, and you never
fucking-
shut up about
I
it. It
went
gets
for like a-
mentioned so much.
I went for like a 2-day seminar with Dad.
Nearly killed him.
But yeah, it was fucking hard work, man. But the most notable thing was, firstly, how much fun all the boys were having on site.
Yeah.
But second to that, I don't know who it was. You had an on-site barbecue. You just used to bring.
Oh, Headley.
Yeah, just to bring a bring a barbie.
Yeah, he had to cook up. Yeah,
Yeah, every day it was just like hot cook-ups. It was hectic.
Bring the raw meat and slap it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sausages, and I think I was there for 2 days. We just had hot dogs every day.
Yeah, you just have sausages and onions,
Bacon and
fresh
eggs.
breads, and
It's hectic.
Yeah, I guess you don't have, you don't have a microwave
No.
on the building site.
I've heard
well,
there's
I think he did. He got one. Of
No.
those.
I've heard now, like, I've got a few tradie mates, and I hear stories about people bringing like air fryers to the site,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and they just sit there and crank the air fryer.
Price them out.
Yeah.
Are you a strong believer, Dad, in it's not what you do, it's who you do it with?
Yeah, you got to have a good fun with your crew. A lot of people are serious out there nowadays. Makes it a bit boring.
That's fair. With Father's Day in mind, it being a Father's Day episode,
Yes.
we're going to finish with one last question, which is, I've got a few mates who are starting their journey in fatherhood, or they've either just found out they're going to become dads, or they've just become dads for the first time. What advice would you be able to give to somebody who's in that position, who's starting off for the first time as a brand new father?
All right. Head down, ass up, and good luck.
Is there any learnings that you've picked up over the last, 27 years that you've been a dad?
I don't know. Just spend lots of time with your kids when they're young.
That's a good shout.
Why is that?
Because my dad worked 7 days a week till I was about 15. Well, forever, really.
Yeah.
Then you were working with it.
Yeah, you earned it back by working with him every day.
You spend time with him by getting a job with him.
That's fair. Yeah, I do remember that some of the best days ever were when, like, it was a bit rainy and, like, Dad just wouldn't go to work, and just the three of us would be perched up and we'd just be hanging out.
Watching
Yeah,
videos.
We would watch Shrek 9 times for the day. And, like, the biggest highlight ever, I reckon, was we had a really good sound system at home at Tudor Ave.
Yeah.
Indoor, outdoor speakers all times. And, like, it almost was like the moment Mum seemed to drive out the driveway, 96 FM, just at full tilt. Like, I don't know how the neighbours put up with it, but, like, we'd just be...
loud,
so true.
They must
just
just
be-
love the station.
We'd just be dancing around and carrying on. This is like my earliest memory. It was just like running amok, dancing
Yeah.
around. Even like a Saturday night, just like, yeah, fucking music is up and that's it.
Yeah.
That's
Mum's out. Let's crank it.
that's all the
The
entertainment we
sound
needed.
system was incredible. Was that already there, or did you have one of your Sparky mates put that in?
No, I put it all together.
All right. That's
It's
crazy.
in the front room.
Yeah, there's actually
Mum
it ru-
doesn't want it. She goes, get rid of it. Get something small.
the sound bar.
Small and petite.
But yeah, no, but it literally wrapped around like a whole 50% of the house. There
Yeah.
were speakers on like every corner
Yeah, you
of
couldn't-
our
you couldn't miss
exterior.
that.
of
Yeah, it
the
was all
house.
on the out. You know, I had set A was all inside and set B was inside.
Yeah, and you could flick it.
At the
Yeah.
pool, yeah.
By the pool, by the barbecue, out the front. No matter where you
Inside.
went, you could hear it.
Yeah, had the neighbours thumping along.
So
Did
we-
you ever get any complaints?
No,
They just moved.
they just walked
no
around with
point.
earmuffs on.
Yeah, there's no point even pretending
Yeah, all
to
the
ask.
neighbours are deaf.
But no, we had some good times as kids, especially like it was always a very fun time.
Yeah,
Hanging
for sure,
out,
yeah.
getting up to all sorts of shit.
For sure.
Yeah, that was good times.
Loved it. All right, we're going to play a game up next.
Here we
Joey's
go.
got a little bit of a game.
Game.
I don't know how this is going to go because,
Uh-oh.
yeah, there's all sorts of lingo getting thrown around. I don't know if we need to add any more, but game's coming up just after this. All right, very exciting. We have got Dad on the podcast for a Father's Day version. A nice little Father's Day episode of the podcast. We played the same game with Mum. It's the Slang game. Jake versus Franky Boy.
Been trying to do my thing, but I've been hearing things lately. Funny sayings, I don't know what they mean. Now we're gathered here, I was wondering maybe, can you tell me maybe, what do these sayings mean? What's the saying? What's the saying? What's the saying? Tell me what's the saying?
It's the sayings game, boys. Very excited indeed. Basically, the whole concept, Dad, is that Joe will come up with a saying, whether it's an Australian saying, whether it's just like some flash new lingo, and it's up to the people playing the game to work out exactly what that lingo means.
Okay.
You would have watched the episode that we did with Mum a couple of weeks ago. I don't know that we did exceptionally well playing then.
Yes, that was Gen Z slang.
Yeah.
And we are sticking with that theme to make it even for obviously Mum and Dad.
Okay.
We could almost
Competing.
in the future. There's the amount of like customary slang that the man to my right comes up with. We could
We
almost
could do
play,
one of just his.
yeah, we can almost play a version of the game with a complete stranger or a friend of ours, and just purely based on shit that Dad says.
Yeah.
That would stump a heap, I reckon.
That's good.
That
Write
would
that
be
down.
great. All right, so we've got 5 slangs here, and these are all Gen Z, which is our.
Hang on, the Hoodoo
generation.
Gurus.
Dad had some facts
Yeah,
about
Dad had
Hoodoo
some
Gurus.
Hoodoo
Yeah.
Gurus.
So if you didn't know, that song is called "What's My Scene"
Yeah.
by the
What's
Hoodoo
my scene?
Gurus.
Yeah.
And Dad,
Probably most well known in Australia for being the "Thank God You're Here"
Yep.
theme song.
Oh yeah.
What was your fact? What was
you
your?
had a fun fact.
You were
You
telling
dropped
us in
that.
the
Oh,
break
yeah.
about all these people that you hung out with.
Yeah, he grew up in Adelaide.
The guy
the
from.
lead singer. I think a few of the bands came from Adelaide or around East Fremantle.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the place to be.
And then, like they
Close
basically
to
grew up
that.
with you and used to sing
Yeah,
on the
they used
regular.
to be the same age as my older sister. They used to go to parties and things together.
It's like so unfathomable. Like imagine that now.
What do the Hoodoo Gurus do now?
Oh,
They're still
Write
around.
music.
Do they still
When
make
was their last there? They're not releasing a
reckon
single,
they're-
are they?
They haven't done anything big since then.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. They're
I always
probably
wonder,
all
like, how
working
much-
normal
What's
jobs.
my scene?
Yeah, how much money do you get for doing just a "What's My Scene"? You know, I guess the "Thank God You're Here" paycheck.
Yeah, but that's the
Right.
thing.
Did
Like,
they
Who
still
plays
use
it?
it on what?
Depends on who plays it.
I don't know.
because like ACDC, are they set up for life?
Yeah,
They
AC/DC,
would-
yeah.
They're
They got
global.
They're like one of the.
Yeah, they got
Like,
They're
they're
like Queen-esque.
But
Their songs like in Marvel movies.
what about like Paul Kelly? Paul Kelly, for example, super famous, super well known in Australia. Do you reckon that sets you up for life?
Well, I mean, he still does
Probably.
shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He still does.
Is that like a
concerts.
cash
You'd
grab?
Is
probably
that
have
like
to,
a?
Yeah, is that like I need to eat for the next 6 months?
Yeah, probably. He's probably got a bit of money from selling records and that.
You know.
Yeah, fascinating stuff.
Okay,
Alright.
let's get into the game. Game is simple.
Okay.
Where Joe's going to ask what the slang means,
Yes.
and then it's up to us to guess it. I'm going to be nice enough to let Dad, because I reckon it's going to be way funnier if Dad gets in first each
Dad
and every
goes
time.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, let the other
I'll keep
bloke-
score and special comments
Yeah.
All right, coming in with the first
and
one.
jurisdiction.
Don't think the score's gonna that scoring hand's gonna get much of work
Special
out.
comments heavy.
All right,
We
the
have
first.
5.
The first one is a very new, recent sort of thing.
Yes.
It is Brat Summer.
Brat Summer.
Yeah, so Brat Summer is something that's been going around lately.
Oh,
What
yeah.
do you think it is?
It's having a great summer.
All right.
It's not that far off. Do you wanna give us a little bit more information? Feel free to extend. maybe.
Who do you think it applies to?
All the brats. All the young chaps going out, going for levers and what all that.
All right.
That's not bad. That's pretty
That's pretty
good.
good.
Because
That's-
I think I know what it is. I'll say what I think
Yeah.
it is. But more or less, I would have said basically what Dad said. It's like
End of
young
the year.
people. I would say more namely females
Yes, I would
Um,
say yes.
who are a little bit more keen on just like getting out, having a good time. A lot of smoking, a lot of drinking, a lot of partying.
Yeah. So Brat Summer comes from obviously the Charlie XCX album Brat. And it's about, so it says, she says the Brat ethos is me, my flaws, my fuck ups,
Whoa.
all rolled into one.
There you go.
So it's about, yeah, going out, going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
What's
let
your
me
What's your favorite Charlie XCX song?
the other one.
That's a good one.
What about you, Riley? Favorite album?
Oh, it's got to be the best of Charlie.
Yeah,
XCX.
absolutely.
I'm going to do my part now. Score. I'm going to give one each there. And special comment, that was good.
Who was
good.
who was Charlie? What XX?
Charlie XCX. You might know she's the
She's a
KFC
singer.
ad song.
You know, I don't care.
Oh yeah,
I
that's a good
love
song.
it. She sings that.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
All
Bit
right,
of
the
a
next,
KFC summer.
Malcolm X's sister.
Charlie XCX. And we're
not
away.
expecting
Malcolm, X,
Malcolm X
reference.
reference.
Extra point to Dad.
All right, the next one is Gyat.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yes, is that a car, mate?
Spelt Gyatt.
Let's get out of here.
Ooh, close. It's not an acronym. I'll give you that.
Okay.
Gyat.
It means something like it's.
Going somewhere?
Let's narrow it down. Let's funnel it. It's a body part.
Yeah, that's good.
Gat.
You got Gyat.
Gyat.
Oh, gas.
Oh, close.
close.
Very
Definitely
close.
that region.
Giraffe.
Yeah. You got Gyat
You
means
got
just
one
like.
hell of a big ass.
So
I love big butts and candy.
That's it.
Is that it?
That's
I
exactly
love
it.
big Gyats, and I cannot lie.
Yeah, that's
so,
it. He's hit it out of the park.
So Gyat is used to describe someone with a big booty, and it's actually become what's called a backronym, where it already existed, and now they've given it an acronym.
And it's doubled in size.
For girl, your ass is thick.
Yeah.
What's the second T there?
No one knows. The next one we have is Zaddy.
Zaddy.
Oh, I don't
Zaddy.
know.
If
I
I
Zad-
was to describe someone as Zaddy, What does that mean?
Okay.
Pretty hip with sassy remarks.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. They're a dad. What was it again?
Zaddy.
They're like a zesty dad.
I say Jake is closer. It's an attractive older man.
Oh.
For example,
Like me.
yeah, for example, Frank is Zaddy.
How do you spell
right.
Zaddy?
Zaddy.
I thought you were doing Zatty.
Yeah, for example, like Huberman is Zaddy.
Well, each to their own.
Yeah.
Each to their
So
own.
is this going to be a new dictionary they're going to print?
Yeah, some of these words
They
are
get added.
getting added. Yeah,
'Cause I think even when
when
we're playing when we were playing with Mum, there was a few words that ended up getting dumped in.
I think
the
one.
next.
Yeah, I think one coming up is in the dictionary now.
Here we go.
So the score is, I think Dad gets the last one. I reckon I got that one. So that
Yep.
must make it 2 each.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many we got?
2 to go.
Okay.
The next one is situationship.
Oh,
that's good.
what's a
situation?
Yeah, if someone was to say
Can you
that-
say, Joe, what does situationship mean?
Yeah. Sorry. What does situationship mean?
Well, it's how the fuck do I get out of this situation? Ship.
Ooh.
It's not that. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Okay.
It gets the vibe of it potentially.
But
Jay?
no, I reckon we could delve deeper.
Let's
into
Yeah,
delve.
okay.
Let's delve.
Situation.
Being in a bad situation and wanting to get out.
What type of a
Yes.
situation?
So you're using the first part of the word
Pulled
really.
over by the police department. That'd be a fucking good one.
You're using the first part of the word really well in the situation and then ship. So what would the ship element be related to?
Leaving.
No,
Ship.
no.
Ship.
Think about it.
Relation.
Ship.
So a situation ship. What do you reckon a situation ship is?
I don't know.
All right.
Pretty close.
It's
Yeah.
like a very casual way of defining a relationship without putting a label on it.
Yep. It is a romantic relationship that is not considered to be formal or established. So a lot of the times when people use it, they say they're in a situationship. It sort of means like,
There's blurry lines.
yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure what the situation is.
Which is probably where Dad's felt for the last 30 minutes.
That's where this whole generation is.
Yes.
Yes. A
not
lot of
wrong.
people are.
That's why these words become.
It becomes
Part
so
of
popular.
Like words.
Part of the vocabulary. I reckon half point to Dad, half point to me. He did it first, I did the second. bit.
2.5 each, heading
Alright.
into the
The last
round.
one is the ick.
Oh,
The
surely
ick.
Dad
The
knows it.
ick.
Dad spends more time on like TikTok and Facebook. Surely this has popped up over the journey.
For example, I got the ick.
Oh, very uncomfortable. Not a good feeling about
Yep.
something.
What about though?
Good.
It's about a specific thing.
Oh, about anything. Could be a horror movie or a personality or
Yes,
Ooh,
I think
yeah,
that's.
yeah.
or a relationship
Yes,
that
there you
someone
go.
wants to have with you, and you go, "Eek, he's not touching me."
That's actually pretty damn
That's
He's
full
got it,
points.
yeah.
That's full points.
Ding, ding, ding.
Well, that's been around for years.
Yeah, so the ick,
Eek, he's coming towards me.
the ick is a term to use in dating to refer to a sudden feeling of disgust or repulsion, and it's usually due to a very specific thing.
Or person.
For example, like, I really liked this guy, but then I saw him chasing a ping pong ball, and it was embarrassing, so I got the ick.
So you lose your
You
attractiveness
see-
towards someone.
You see
Yeah.
someone do something, and you think,
So
oh,
you like
no.
a girl at a party, but then she like picks her
Farts.
nose,
Yeah.
and then you've got the ick. You don't even find her in any way attractive anymore.
Oh,
You've got the ick.
did she eat it?
That's the big question on everyone's
That's
lip.
the question on everyone's lips.
So how many was that out of, Joe?
5.
And Dad finished with 3.5 out
That's
of
good.
five.
He's done very
That's
well.
good.
I think
That's a great score.
He's
He's
very...
very-
definitely surprised me.
I'm
He's-
a bit more hip than Mum.
He's in tune with these softies, as he says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd fit right in, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
There you go.
He would be Zaddy and Gat in his brat summer, for sure.
Goodness
sure,
gracious
Ick.
me.
Okay, I've got a question.
Ooh,
Not ready for this one.
never happened before.
So, what's the best part about having me as a dad?
Good
For
question.
Dad's question.
Great
Now,
question.
this affects the inheritance. So don't fuck it up.
I'll go first, having been around for the longest.
Yeah.
Definitely the very casual nature. It doesn't necessarily matter how bad you think you've done in something, whether it's like a school result or you've gotten in strife like out in the streets or carrying on. There is no there is absolutely nothing that I could do, and I wouldn't feel comfortable calling him to be like, hey, man, we in some shit over here. And he'd be like, yeah, you're a fucking idiot, but I'll come help out. That's always been the absolute one would.
I agree.
I think I would say laid back nature. The laughs would definitely be up there. And then also like whenever I need something or if Kira needs help with like something like that, you know, like moving furniture or that kind of stuff, Dad always, you know, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just like subtle lessons along the way. Kind of like, I don't know, just like you tell your stuff. Even like some of those stories, that'd be funny, but they'd always have a moral. It'd be like, I ran away from the cops. Obviously, it's funny because that's the bad thing to do. So you kind of don't follow in those footsteps.
There's morale,
but
in
you can
all
have
the
a laugh
tales,
about it.
Yeah. And I think as from probably a bit more, probably a second level to that is the entertainment compartment that follows through. Like, it's never really a bad time, and you're always like very, what's the word? I don't know. We like we'll fight and whatnot, but there's never like a. I don't know. It's always water off a duck's back. Like I've never woken up the next day and been like, Dad's really shitty with me. Because that's every day. So I just know that that's where we're starting. But it'll never be bad.
There'll always be a hilarious text waiting to come through in the fam chat.
Yeah. You're just you're very proud of us. I think I've really noticed that in the last few years as well. Like you're definitely showing your pride in us a lot more than we've probably ever been aware of. And you're just a huge entertainer. When my mates come over, fucking...
Oh, yeah.
But no one knows what you're going to come up with. And I think most of the time, neither do you know what's just come out your mouth, which is always hilarious.
And, yeah,
Mine's a surprise.
my mates frequently ask, like, how's Frankie going?
Yeah.
You know, even
Same
especially
here.
people who I haven't seen in a while, who are like childhood friends, they'll always ask, like, how are you? How's your dad?
Yeah, from an external point of view, I think a lot of my mates would look at you and go, I wish he was my dad, which I think is probably the greatest testament you could have from someone outside the family.
For sure, yeah.
But yeah, you're doing a lot of things good. Doing a lot of things well. And you worked extraordinarily hard to put us all through private school and get us a good education, get us all into uni. So we did, so we could
behind a little table and
and
just
just
podcast. Think shit at people.
yeah, exactly right.
Pick on your mum for not being trendy.
Exactly, because I think our lives would be vastly different if you were, if you weren't willing to go out and obviously work as hard as you did for as long as you did. So massive props to you.
No worries.
There you go. I think that's a nice way to finish things up.
Yeah.
Huge episode. We'll make sure this is an annual thing. Because if we do this in 3 more years, we don't know if you'll still be around. So
I could be anywhere.
Quite important that we make these regular sit downs.
But there's one thing that my dad used to always say to me. And he used to say, I don't care what you do, just don't get caught.
There you go. So if you've learnt nothing else today, let be the motto that you take with you this weekend. Thank you so much for joining us, Franky Mac.
No worries, chaps.
We'll see you same time, same place this time next year.
Okay. Hasta la vista. See you on the airs.
Righty boys, that just about brings us to the end of another episode of the podcast. It's been that was quite nice.
Been quaint.
That was good.
I was expecting that to go off the rails every which way it could.
But it stayed on.
It stayed on the rails.
Heated.
It was
Some wild stories.
It was drinking
and driving.
and driving, but nonetheless it stayed on the rails. Which is the key. That was very good. Massive ups to Dad for coming on the podcast. Not probably his most comfortable setting. He likes to talk and spin shit.
Yeah.
In a casual setting. So to ask him to come on, jump on here. That's why he was only on for half. That and because he asked us so much money to get us on for a full episode. His rates are through the roof.
His agent is a fucking dog.
He's a madman. So yes, massive ups to Frank for joining us on the podcast. If you enjoyed, make sure to let us know. Fly into our DMs with a positive comment. We'll be sure to pass it on, or jump in the comment section of the post when we share.
Yeah, for sure. He'd love to see it.
He'd absolutely go off, and he always shares the ones on Facebook as well. So if you want to go the extra mile for Father's Day, jump on Facebook, get on the post, and just let him know how much of a fan you were of the episode, and he'll go bonkers for that. We good?
Yep, Joe.
You look stressed.
Just checking if Joe's saved the project. Have you saved it?
Yep.
I'd just love if you turn the fucking colour up so we can
It's
see.
just because it's on really low battery.
Low battery. It'll still work.
Okay.
You reckon we should just leave it? I don't want it to crash and lose everything we've done.
You hit save.
Yeah, I've saved it.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay. How long have we got left on the battery?
It's still 10%.
Oh my
fucking
God.
don't worry
Joe,
about it.
you gimp stick.
Turn it 4%.
Crank it up.
Crank the.
I'll twist Bluetooth up.
Okay. While Joe's doing that, it's time for our favourite weekly segment. It is our only weekly segment. It's time for our Everyday Hero. Exciting me, boys.
Sweating.
This week's Everyday Hero could have gone to a heap of people. But I reckon
Facts. Every week it could.
it's too timely. It's too timely a reminder. We've done a fair bit of Father's Day stuff. I feel like we've covered the Father's Day stuff.
Yep.
But our good friend of the show,
Huge.
Dyson Heppell.
Dyson Heppell. The Dyson.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought he was stabbing me with a knife earlier.
The Dyson.
Dyson Heppell, a good friend of the show. We spoke about him, I reckon, 3 years ago.
Wow. This is a throwback.
When he was hanging out with his good man H.
Yes.
Harrison, who was a young kid who was going through a fair few medical difficulties at the time. I believe still is. Probably facing a fair few challenges.
I think so, yeah.
As he goes, because I still see him and Hep hanging out a fair bit. Sometimes at hospital, sometimes out of hospital, sometimes at the footy, which is fantastic. But he seems to be living with the condition that he's got extraordinarily well.
Who's Dyson Heppell?
Dyson Heppell is far and away my favourite AFL player that doesn't play for Collingwood or probably Fremantle.
Yep. He plays for Essendon, or he played.
He played for Essendon for a long time. I remember watching him on the footy show. This is maybe
Oh, wow. That dates you.
2006, 2007.
Wow.
I don't know. Was he playing then?
Who knows?
But he'd come on with like dreadlocks. Like he looked like Johnny the Docker.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And I remember
he
Mum
does.
being like, "Oh, I like that guy because he looks like Johnny the Docker." He's also just the nicest bloke, I think.
But he didn't
Sure,
look
yeah.
like it. With the dreads
He
hanging
looked
down like
rough,
Nick Nat Nui.
rough around the edges to some degree. I just don't know anyone that has ever said a bad word about him. I think he's probably of this generation, he'd be the most respected player.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Especially I think you could easily say he's the most respected AFL player, probably to have never played in an AFL final. Because I don't think he ever had the opportunity to ever get there. Essendon haven't played a final since like 2003.
Wow.
So I think that dates Joe, which is a little bit of a shame. He played his 253rd and final match over the weekend, which was actually a fantastic thing to see because there was a lot of talk about him not getting a game. Essendon are an absolute rabble. Couldn't disrespect probably a football side more, especially if they were. But I have gained a little bit of respect for how they've handled this because if they had have decided to drop him and not play him for a farewell fixture, he's probably been the biggest stalwart of the whole club for, I would say, the best part of 10, 15 years, however long it's been there.
Yeah, and like they've had their downs.
Yeah, absolutely. Like incredibly so. Like they have, they were
Drug gate.
they were pulled through the mud and he had to sort of sit with that. And I think to give him a game was fantastic, absolutely deserved. If you're not willing to give Dice a game for a farewell game, I don't think you're willing to give anyone a farewell game. No. Probably the nicest bloke, as I said, and very well respected, not only within the four walls but externally as well. I honestly, if Essendon didn't give him a farewell game, I reckon Collingwood would have happily picked him up for a game. Like just play, man, just play him on Friday night. We'll get him a fair off. Because that's what he deserved. So absolutely stoked that he got it. He's a superstar. And I reckon we put the challenge out. Between now and next year, I'd like to have Dyson Heppell on the pod. So he's a dual hero.
That's cool. Yeah, he's our
the
first
only
ever dual
one.
hero.
He's a dual hero. I might
Actually,
wait.
Mum's probably like, Mum gets it all the time.
Joe's trying. He's putting a pet campaign together to see if he can get it on
trying to get
hero,
my second.
hero
So Dyson
nomination.
Heppell's had it twice and Jake's never. That's huge.
Mate, there you go. See, I'm willing to sacrifice that accolade.
He's a great dude. I was watching a video last night of H giving he gave like a little speech.
Yeah.
Definitely cried.
He's a superstar. No, he's an absolute superstar. So hopefully within the next 12 months we can make it happen. That is our big goal. I want everyone at home to hold us account. But yeah, I'll wait for the dust to settle and then we'll put the feelers out for Big Dyso and then we'll see if we can get him on between now and let's go, Father's Day of next year. It's a weird time, but
Let's get him on.
before the end of next season, we want Dyson Heppell on the podcast.
Let's bloody do it.
Let's see how we can go. And if you guys at home obviously can
If you know him,
help us.
send him a message.
I think what we'll do is if we're getting pretty close to the deadline next year, we might ask the people at home to give us a help. If we can just bombard, if we can bombard him,
spam him.
then we will get him on for sure. But yes, I reckon between now and next year, Dyson Heppell.
So what's he winning it for? Just being a good bloke?
He's been, arguably the best footballer of the last generation to have never really seen the levels of success that he would have wanted to. But despite that, he's just such a lovely guy. Lovely guy on field, lovely guy off field, and a lovely guy when it comes to looking after people who probably need a little bit of an edge.
Yeah.
We've sort of spoken about H over the journey. Those two remain fantastic mates, but I think despite the publicity, they'd still be mates regardless. So it's not like there's a lot of players who like go to these things because they sort of have a contractual obligation.
Yeah.
I think H and Hepp are going to continue to hang out despite him not being an AFL footballer. Unless H goes, mate, you're not a footballer, mate. You're not relevant. I don't want to hang out with you anymore, bro.
I saw another video of him actually. After the game. He ran over to
A young girl.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this isn't
H?
the one I know that he's friends with. Yeah, and he like gave this girl a big hug.
And she was like sobbing.
And her parents and stuff.
Yeah.
And that I've never heard anything. There's no...
Nah. But he just seems to go out of his way. He's just an absolute superstar. I wish he played for the Pies. He's probably one of the only people over the journey that I wish he played for the Pies. Super stoked that he got his farewell game. Massive ups to Hepp. Our first ever?
Dual
Potentially.
Hero. How can you fit 2 crowns on one man?
There you go.
Wow.
This week's Everyday Hero 200 and episode 206 is Everyday Hero goes to Mr. Dyson Heppell. Righty boys, that just about brings us to the end of another episode of the podcast. Massive ups for Franky Mac for joining us on the pod. Some big news that come out of it. Obviously, we're going to do a bit more of a footy themed thing next week. I think.
For sure. Because that'll be the week before finals.
Correct.
So no, that'll be the day of.
Yeah. So we can build, what we'll do is next week we'll build our finals brackets.
Yeah. They're playing a Thursday night game, Joe.
They are.
Yes, Port and Geelong.
So we will build our brackets.
We'll bracket it.
And do a little bit of homework over the journey, and then we will bring our brackets to the table and see who we've got
Up the Mighty Hawks.
as the premiers for 2024.
Bloody oath.
Yes. It'll be nice to have like a relaxing final season.
Yeah. Just watching it for the love of the game.
Yeah. But then it's also like...
It's also lame.
It's a bit soulless.
So boring.
Yeah. And having seen like the ecstasy of it all.
You want to be nervous and like
last
thinking
year
about it and like, oh, come on, kick the fucking
Yeah, because that last September was the only thing I thought about.
You know what I'd say if you want that feeling? $1,000 on the Hawks.
Yeah.
$1,000 on the Hawks.
Kick it, Guinea, you fucking wanker.
Exactly right.
Mooney Valley on the Friday before the GF is going to go up.
You see the Crows already had their Mad Monday?
Did they?
Today, yeah. They played
probably
golf.
playing that last
They
season.
played 18 holes of golf today.
They could have had it in
news
round
coverage
16, I reckon.
Yeah.
Cut out the middleman.
But luckily North didn't have it. Because North got pumped by 120 points over the weekend by the Mighty Hawks.
Yeah.
Imagine going on Mad Monday
Did you
after
see
getting
what
pumped
happened
by
with Josh
120.
Rochelle?
I have no idea who that is.
He's the
killed,
Hawks
right?
guy. No, he's the Hawks guy that celebrated 2 weeks ago. Went over to the crowd.
No, the Crows guy, right?
Yeah. Sorry, what did I say?
You said Hawks, yeah.
Yeah, Crows
Of course
guy.
I know Josh Rochelle from the
Oh,
Crows.
Rochelle. The Rochelle.
He ran over.
Rachel.
And then they
don't get
dropped
that.
him. They were like, no, man, you celebrated. You're gone.
Yeah.
They didn't play him
No.
because he celebrated a goal.
Yeah, he went pretty soft at the next contest. But like, but there wasn't
He's
about
crazy.
that.
What's the score?
They were interviewing him out the front of the. It
What's
was,
the
it was in the showdown. It was in a derby. They
derby.
lost. They lost, but
Oh, Port
Mate,
versus.
I don't know if you've been an Adelaide fan for a while. They're not doing that. They're doing it a fair bit.
It wasn't his fault.
How can you drop someone for celebrating?
Well,
Like, but, like, I understand if it's like in basketball because like the ball's still live.
no,
but-
games, yeah.
AFL, it's like 5 minutes. Go to an ad break.
He burnt a few
Yeah.
blokes
You
on
can
the
do
way
whatever you
to the celebration, which is fair.
Or
but
he
like,
left his teammates hanging.
well, he kicked the goal and ran straight over his teammates. But he did this a month ago.
But he-
So they beat Essendon about a month ago Friday night. He kicked this goal, burnt about 6 teammates, ran over, kicked the winning goal, ran over to the crowd and celebrated with them. No talk
The
about it.
crowd are paying to be there.
He did it on the week. He did it 2 weekends ago against Port. It was a lot of like the teeth shit as well. He was telling them they didn't have any teeth.
Fair enough.
Play on.
Subtext.
He could have dropped him. He said all that before the game. If you want to drop him then. It seemed
Yeah.
bizarre. The funny thing that came out of it during the week, like it was pretty well known that he was going to get dropped, and then the news came out that he wasn't playing.
Mm-hmm.
He was omitted. And someone jumped on Instagram and commented on the page.
Oh, yeah.
Someone jumped on the Instagram and commented on the page like, oh, this is such a fucking shame. Rochelle would be so disappointed. He deserves to leave and find a better club. Fuck the Hawks. Fuck the Crows. Josh Rochelle, like the comment. And that got caught out.
was
He
he
got
Mad
caught,
Monday?
he got caught out and then had to issue
He
an
said it
apology.
was
Oh,
an
I'm
accident.
sorry, my finger slipped. And there was a lot of people commenting,
I'm a right-hand scroller, I swear.
commenting, supporting messages, and I accidentally liked that one, and then I quickly unliked it. Apparently,
Yeah, after
he's gone. Come to the pies, Joshua Shelley. We love someone who
We
celebrates.
love a bit of showmanship.
We just
yeah.
lost
Go
it.
to the Hawks.
Yeah,
He
well
would
that's the
fit in
thing.
with the Hawks.
The whole sport is lauding. Joe's looking at the battery. The whole sport is lauding the Hawks because they just would prefer to celebrate than actually get a touch.
Yeah, selfie.
Yeah.
Imagine that grand final selfie. Fuck the front page. Put a selfie on the
Yeah.
front page.
Joshua Shelley might get a feature. He might take the snap.
Oh, they'll get dropped for round 1 next year.
But there you go. Much love to Joshua Shelley. Till we do this time next week.
Yeah, the Hawk pack will be back.
Stay safe, stay blessed, and always remember to.
Go give your mum a hug.
It's ciao for now, but not forever.